Yahoo! Hey everybody, this is Brett, and tonight I'm going to tell you what I'm doing to avoid catching it. And you know what I'm talking about, so. For a long time now, whenever I go into the bathroom, I don't touch anything with my hands. Nothing. And how I'm able to do that is I push the door open with my elbow. If I have to pull a door handle, I put my sleeve like that and I pull it with that. Or I take the paper towel that I just used to dry my hands and I pull the handle with the paper towel. Then I hold the door with my foot, throw the paper towel in the garbage can, and leave. But most of the time, after I use the restroom, if I'm in public anyway, I don't even touch the sink at all because I don't want to touch anything. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But basically, what I do is I try to avoid touching things that other people have touched. Okay, and this whole you know what, I won't even say it. Okay, I'll say it. The coronavirus. This whole coronavirus is opening not only other people's eyes, but it's opening my eyes to other things that I shouldn't be touching, including like I don't want my food to touch the weighing scale. Now, you can, if you go through the U-Scan, you can take some kind of a cleaner, take your own cleaner to the store just in case they don't have any, but I would guarantee you almost that pretty soon by every U-Scan there's going to be a bottle with cleaner there for you to use. And then you can just clean the whole thing off and paper towels. But just in case they don't have it together yet, their axe, what you need to do is take some kind of a cleaner and paper towels with you everywhere you go, especially to the grocery store, so that you can clean the U-Scan off and the place where you put your stuff. And hopefully you're using your own bags. So for me, I just put it on the counter. I don't slide it all into a plastic bag. And that may be safer at this point, but for me, I'm just avoiding plastic bags anyway, no matter what, because I hate them. So basically, what you want to do is not allow your hands and not allow your food to touch other things where other people's hands and food and or whatever have touched. Okay, so think about like if I have to go to the health food store, I'm basically going to go load up all my stuff and I'm going to go at a time when there's not a lot of people there. Okay, so everyone's breathing. Imagine if there were 100 people in a little health food store and everyone's like breathing, and you're breathing other people's breaths. You don't want that. So you want to go at a time, if you want to be really, really safe, you want to go at a time like when they first open in the morning. So nobody's been in there all night long. The employees have cleaned all the counters really good. So they open at 8 and bam, there you are. You're there at 8. Or they open at 7 and bam. If you're an older person, you may want to be so diligent as to go to a store when they first open. Okay? So all the things that I'm telling you to do here are basically just things that you need to change in your mind. You need to change the way you do business. And you need to just get it quickly into your head so you don't make a mistake. Because, here where I live in the country, it's not hit hard, and it's not likely to hit near as hard as in the cities. Okay? So, but basically, you want to get it into your head, but you don't want to panic because there's really no need to panic because all of the things that we're needing to do, not all of the things, but a whole lot of the things that we're needing to do in regards to preventing germ spreading and or virus spreading are just common sense. So before, I was like thinking to myself sometimes, I don't really like it that I'm putting my food on a weighing scale that scumbag in front of me just put his food on because he was just picking his nose and wiping his butt, etc., and then he touched his food and then stuff like that. So basically, you want to keep your hands as clean as often as much as you can. And you want to keep anything that you're putting your hands and food on clean, and or you can just, like if you're poking buttons at the ATM, what you can do is take a pencil like this and use the pencil end. Use the pencil end. Or use something besides your finger. Okay, so it's all just common sense. You don't have to completely avoid going out to dinner somewhere. You just have to avoid going out to dinner somewhere where there's a lot of people, and it's not likely that there's going to be a lot of people now. You can call the restaurant before you go over there and say, "Hey, is there a lot of people there?" "Oh no, come on over." "There's only one person here." What are the chances you're going to catch something if there's only one person at the restaurant? Okay, so you have to use your head to know. And you can sometimes, it might be a little bit of a difficult thing to decipher, like, okay, is it worth the risk? Okay, so is it worth the risk for me to do this versus that? A lot of the time, for the most part, just stay home. That's what I do anyway, because I can make the best and healthiest food for me. How many of you think that somebody at even a vegan restaurant is going to be able to provide as healthy a food as what I make at home? Probably not. And also, you're saving money. And let's check out some of the comments. "Hey, I only hope you don't have the problems we have in Europe with the corona. I'm from Spain and the situation is terrible." I wouldn't. It's probably not terrible. It's probably you're making it terrible. The government's making it terrible. Okay, so the governments need to make things terrible so that people really get terrified, so that they get their acts together. Okay, and that's cool. That's what needs to happen because most people don't have that much discipline. I've been thinking about this for over a week or two now, or actually probably months. I've been getting ready in my head ever since the first day that I heard about the coronavirus. And as the weeks and weeks have gone on, I've been getting more and more prepared. About 10 days ago, I went and bought $350 worth of dried beans, dried grains, and canned goods and all kinds of non-perishable foods. And I'm growing like 150 or something starts in the grow room, and I take them out on the deck during the day when it's sunny. But I've been getting prepared for these things. I've been instinctively getting prepared by cutting my expenses, as most of you know, for like a year now, maybe 9 months, a year. I've been cutting. I even cut my own hair, speaking of cutting. Okay, so I'm doing everything that I can to make my life comfortable and acceptable and so that I don't go down the drain. And if you guys just use your heads and provide some kind of a service. So let's say that you're doing some kind of a service where you're going to lose a lot of hours at your job because there's not near as many customers, like at a restaurant. Let's say that you can just try and find someplace else that's still providing some kind of work to supplement what you were doing before. So you're still doing your same job, but now you're putting things together at home. You're making some kind of a little thing, or maybe you're starting some kind of a part-time business on your own at home. There are so many things that I've been telling you all for so long that are going to wind down because of this coronavirus. And although it's scary, even for me, it's like exciting for me. It's exciting to think that God, nature, creation, whatever you want to call it, it's doing its thing to slow people down, which is exactly what I've been telling you that needs to happen. It's absolutely perfect. It's absolutely flawless in its execution. Creation is mint perfect in creating this scenario right now. They're playing baseball games in Japan, and soon they're going to be playing basketball games here with no spectators, just for people at home. Now think about that. Think about the ramifications of that. Think of how much less CO2 is going to be burned into the atmosphere just from people not getting in their cars and going somewhere. Think about that. Think about how much less fumes. Think about how much less petroleum is going to be burned by cruise ships and airplanes. Think about that. Now think about, okay, so now some of you are thinking, okay, but what about all those people that work for those industries? I have been telling you for a long time. I have a good friend on Facebook that works for American Airlines, and she so really needs a break from that job. I swear to God, she so totally needs a break from that job and driving to Chicago O'Hare every day and back and forth. She lives out in the country. She drives too much and she spends too much time. She's been at that job with them for 30 years. She needs a break from them. And you know what people need? People need to learn. A lot of people need a break, and they also need to be home learning how to take care of themselves naturally. Because think about this now. There are so many things. It's not even funny. There are a lot of people out there that that they need some time off, and they need to start doing something in regards to learning. There was something else that I was just thinking, and it just blew my mind because there's so many things about this whole thing that's absolutely exactly what we need. But at the same time, it can be very difficult for a lot of people because a lot of us don't have much cash to back ourselves up with, including me. And I'm dependent upon you guys to keep buying my products to keep me going. And so, if you need a pillow, if you want to sleep better, I am not kidding you. My Millet Hole pillows are the best. People don't believe me. Some people, they're not used to them because they're a little bit firm, okay? They take a little bit of time to get used to. Everything that's natural takes effort and hard work. And so if people are home, they can actually take some time to learn how to do some of the things that I'm teaching. Instead of, people are always complaining, oh, I just don't have enough time. I don't have enough time and they might not even admit it, to walk their dogs, to do some self-massage on themselves, to rub their own necks, to meditate, to just sit and breathe, to do some hypnotherapy. Why don't we do a little hypnotherapy right now, okay? So take a few deep breaths with me. We're going to do some hypnotherapy and some positive coronavirus affirmations. It is all good, Jesse Dawson. It is all good. Guter Gavon. It is all good, Connor and Kate. This is all for the best. Every single thing that we're going through right now, and every single circumstance and happenstance and blobbenstance, It's all exactly the way it's supposed to be. You could say that with me right now. Everything is exactly the way it's supposed to be. Say it again. Everything, including the coronavirus, is exactly the way it's supposed to be. I trust in God, Jesus, the Buddha, Krishna, Jaja, Muhammad. I trust in all of them to give us exactly what we need in this exact moment right now. Here's one. Say this over and over again. Everything is going to be okay. Relax the body like a rag doll. Relax your body so relaxed. It's like a banana. Oh, it's like you're just so relaxed because maybe you put your hand on your chest and you go little circles clockwise. You go back the other way a few circles. Then you go back towards the left clockwise. Put your fingers on your temples like this and rub them. And then make your hands go over your head and down your neck like that. Stretch your shoulders. Take a nice deep breath. And say it again. Everything is going to be okay. And the reason that everything is going to be okay is first of all because you're going to take heed of not touching things that other people are touching. Like when you run your debit card through the machine, you're not going to touch the buttons with your fingers, because then you might touch them with on your face or in your nose or in your mouth or something accidentally. You're going to try not to do that, but you're also just going to try to not touch things with your fingers and hands that other people are touching. You can use a pencil. You could use your wrist, your sleeve like that. If you don't have any pencils on you, you could take your sleeve and roll it up on your fingers like that and touch the buttons like that. You could make it really pointy like that and touch the buttons like that. And you can take some cleaner to the store and go through the U-Scan and clean the weigher machine and the scanner off and the place where you put your stuff before you put your stuff on there, because some dude with the coronavirus two persons ago just put all his stuff on there and got coronavirus on the counter. Don't put your hands or any of your produce, especially produce, anywhere where other people have put their stuff that has the coronavirus on it. All you have to do is use your head. Go to the store when there's not too many people there. And once again, take a nice deep breath. So think about this. Is this the kind of a thing that might bring a separated country together? Oh yeah, real fast. Like, people start forgetting about their guns and worrying about whether they've got their AR-15s. You're going to take my AR-15 away from me. And they're going to forget about that because their grandma just died of freaking coronavirus. So it's going to bring people together. It's a good thing. And all of those little petty-ass things, petty-ass little bullshit things that people were worried about before are now on the back burner. But it's not a big deal if you don't expose yourself to a lot of the big crowds. People are starting to think they're canceling big events. So you should know that this is not too big a deal for me because I'm a Cancer, I'm a homebody in my shell, and I really don't like to go to events that much because I really don't like big crowds anymore. There was a time that I enjoyed going to a Charger game or a Padre game, you know, but I'm really not into people, the drunks, the people screaming, and the cigarettes, and whatever. All the things anymore anyway. So it's easier for me. And it might not be so easy for some of you. But you can just tone it down some. You can still go to places where there are people. You just don't want to be in the face of somebody that's breathing coronavirus on you. So you stay a little bit more of distance away from people, and you don't shake people's hands too much or hug, you know, until this thing goes away. And I was watching somebody talk about viruses from the past and the flu. And there was a time when the standard, whatever it is, flu, the flu that people get, was brand new to humans too. And it could be, they say, that the coronavirus will be an ongoing thing now. Bear in mind, there is always something that comes up that's going to make people change. This is just another one of those things. That's all there is to it. And anyone that thinks that there's not going to be a continual plethora of things coming at us to make us change, after this is continued and we're kind of used to it, just as you get used to this, something else may very well come that's just as aggressive or more. So that's why you have to understand that this is just a test, and that because there are so many people that are so out of balance in so many ways, that we really, really need this. We so totally need this, it's not even funny. And so be grateful for it and be smart about it by doing the things that I've mentioned in this video. So I've got 2 pillows to make, and then I am done with all my orders. But that's not good. I've got to keep the cash flow coming. And I would love to make a pillow, a millet hull pillow for you. And believe me, there's no coronavirus here at the cabin. And I probably won't be catching it. And so it's really safe to buy things from me. And when you get a package, here's another thing. You're going to be getting packages, possibly from me or possibly from somebody else like Amazon, or letters in the mail that have been touched by the mailman. If you're a mail person or somebody else like that that's interacting with the public big time, you've got to really take precautions more than somebody that's not exposed very much like myself. But you can do it. You can do it. You wash your hands. You're touching all this mail. Hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of pieces of mail every day. So what do you have to do? You don't touch your face with your hands until you've at least washed them. Or maybe you could wear some gloves. I just ordered 100 nylon, or not nylon, some kind of a plastic glove. 100 gloves for $11 and some odd cents from Amazon. I'll put the link in the description box after I'm done here. So also, you might want to do a mask. I'm not going to worry too much about masks because I'm not going to go anywhere where there's going to be a lot of people. I can go to the store during the day. If you're an older person and you're retired, you probably go during the middle of the day when there's not as many people. Or like I said before, when the store first opens and there's hardly anybody. in there. Because the co-op doesn't have a U-scan, that's probably what I'm going to do when I go to the co-op in Asheville. I think they open at 8. I will be right there at 8 o'clock to get my food and get out. So, let's see. So, don't worry. Be happy. You be happy because you're taking the precautions that you need to take, and you know that it's a phase. Think about all the different phases that we go through, and think about the phases that you personally go through in your life. Maybe you got a divorce, or maybe you moved, or maybe you lost a pet. And all of these things are really traumatic things. They're dramatic things. They're crazy and difficult things that we go through in our lives. Now, can a society go through a crazy and difficult thing? Can a whole world go through a crazy and difficult thing? Of course it can. Exactly the same that an individual can. A community can. Anything can go through a difficult and trying time. And it's just one of those times. Highs and lows. There's always going to be these highs and lows. This is an extreme example. And right now is especially right now is probably the peak of the mental stress of this whole thing. I've already peaked. I already went through the big yada yada. About 10 days ago, I realized, okay, everybody else hasn't peaked, and you need to get through your understanding of this, and da da da. And so I went through my yada yada, and I'm already past my peak of stress for this whole situation. And I'm now in a point of just focus. Focus. I am dead set right now on making products. I am dead set on taking care of me, that dog, and those 18 chickens plus one intruder. And I'll tell you what, I'm finding out that the value of trading, and I'm telling you, homegrown organic chicken eggs are one hell of a valuable trading commodity. I've already traded several dozen eggs for different things, and it's kind of a you scratch my back and I scratch yours, and hey, I've got chicken eggs, baby. And so, yeah, it's all good, you know what I mean? But I just felt since our beloved president came on the television or the internet last night and announced all of what he had to say, I felt like that since I am the commander of the world, that I needed to say what I needed to say. So here I am, and that's all. That's the reason. That's why I'm here. But it's now dark outside, which means I've got to go shut down the chicken houses. I've got to close up the chicken houses. Just if I don't, sure as you know what, the predators will get them. So I've got to let you go. I want to thank you so much for joining me. Wait, before I go, I'm going to read just a couple of the themes. Thanks for all your help. May people really use your advice. Sure, Jesse. Homebody too. Good, Diana. That's very good. I got 2 already. 2 pillows. Recipes for homemade sanitizer. Okay, so I'm just right now using Dr. Bronner's soap. Okay, soap breaks up and releases, it doesn't kill bacteria. It releases the bacteria. And I put a high concentration of Bronner's soap in a bottle that I'll take with me along with a roll of paper towels to wipe off anything I need. Like I wiped off the cart at the store. Why couldn't I think of that name? Cart. See, I'm getting old. I wiped off the cart handle. If you go to the store, they've got sanitizer things, but I don't want to touch any of that. That's all just chemicals. That's what I got away from society for, chemicals and idiocy. So I take a natural Dr. Bronner soap in a bottle, highly concentrated, spray it on whatever I want to clean off, and then wipe it off with paper towels. And I'm good to go, and wash my hands often. Go into the restroom at the store, wash your hands. If you're just taking a leak, wash your hands and just push the door like that, and don't touch anything. Touch nothing. And you're good to go. You're good to go. Don't get too close to people. If you're standing in line, stand farther apart. Stand farther apart. And what else? Good advice. Thanks. Will tea tree oil work too? Now, you can also use vinegar. You can wipe things down with vinegar, and that kills germs. But someone told me that it doesn't kill all germs. If you want to get radical, you can go buy some Everclear from the liquor store. Some of you can get 100 proof, which is pure Everclear, pure alcohol. If you want to use the toxic alcohol, you can buy that denatured alcohol from the pharmacy. And that means it's had some kind of a toxic something added to it so that people won't drink it. It'll make them sick. I avoid toxic things and just stick with the natural. I think I've got. Yeah, check it out. There you go, baby. Everclear. But here in North Carolina, you can't get the highly concentrated stuff. This one is only 75%, 151 proof. But you can tell how often I use it. It's got dust all over it. But I was using this to make shellac. The shellac is an all-natural wood coating cover stuff. I used to shellac guitars. Some of the best guitars in the world, old, hundreds of years, shellacked with shellac, which is made by bugs in trees in India. So yeah, if you want to really clean stuff off, use pure alcohol, Everclear. Woo! I knew Joe would make a comment about that Everclear. Thursday Night Live. That's right. Okay, so I've got to go and put the chickens away, and I've got to make pillows. But you guys should know that I have a crap load of beautiful wood rollers for sale. And if you're home, you can be sleeping on my fantastic Millet Hole pillows. You can be rubbing your feet with the Foot Friend massage tool and the Soother massage tool. You could be laying on a beautiful set of my yoga bolsters. There are so many things that if you're at home, you can be doing from BrettsNaturalHealth.com. Thanks for joining me. I hope that you are well.